Here are 3 free marketing tools that you can use as an esthetician. I'm Victoria. I'm a solo esthetician, and I started my business with 0 clients in a new town, and I now make over $20,000 a month just working 2 days a week. So the whole concept that I teach is to work less and make more in the treatment room. And I'm so excited to talk about this topic today because these are the tools that I used in the beginning to now have over 118,000 followers on Instagram, and tools that really work that are free when you're first starting.
Yeah, the free is a big one here when it comes to marketing because it's really difficult to get yourself out there when just starting a business. And what we've learned really over the past, 6-8 months of doing a lot of mentoring now is I do believe that every person, every individual should lean on their strengths when it comes to marketing. So all these tools today, in my opinion, can kind of cover really whatever type of personality that you have to really lean into to get you clients quickly. Now, a little, I guess I'd say, I don't know, just something to think about as well is in the beginning, you do need to do all of them. You need to learn, you need to really fight for it in the beginning. And as you grow and develop and establish yourself as an esthetician, then you can really kind of close down some of the avenues and then really lean into the ones that you're really good at. And we'll go into a little bit more of those details as we break down each one of these marketing tools.
Yeah. So the first one that we want to talk about is your Google My Business. So this is setting up your Google profile. If you are a solo business owner, this is free marketing that actually is going to be so beneficial for you the years that your business is developing. So yeah, you may not see an immediate, you may not get an immediate result from this, but these are the foundations that you're building for your business. So Google reviews are so important when you are starting your business. So this is how when people search your services, you are in hopes to be the first one that pops up because you have a more standout profile with your Google reviews and your business becoming recognizable on Google when people are searching for your services.
Yeah, this also proves to others that don't know you that you are legit and that you have a real business and people have come in and they are happy with your services. I'll give, I guess from there, I want to go into a few tips that people can be using in the beginning to get Google reviews. One, your mom is always a great first start for a Google review. Your spouse, some of your friends. You don't want to mass text everybody before your business starts for everyone to write you a review. But slowly, anybody that you know that's in your life and in your city, a really quick, whatever your niche is. Hey, I had an amazing facial. I had an amazing hydrofacial. If you start off with hydrofacial, I had an amazing wax experience with this person and saying their name. And yeah, it's huge. And I do think that the biggest benefit from Google reviews does take a little while, but there is some immediate gratification because if you're driving somebody from Instagram or a referral from somebody and the first thing they do is Google you and there's a handful of people that have been there before and said good things, they're going to feel really good when they walk in those doors. Yeah. One of the things that we did in the beginning was we did a lot of content days. We talk about this a lot, is that we brought people in for free to do full facials on and made it into a content day. So I'd sit there and film basically the entire facial. So we have a lot of stuff to put on social media. And every single one of those people, because you gave them a free service, they wrote those Google reviews within 2 seconds. Yeah. And, we've talked about this before of getting models in and the million benefits from it, such as you getting more practice when it comes to putting your hands on faces, you getting more consulting practice, the content that we get out of it. But the Google reviews is arguably also one of the best things that you get from that because you don't have to follow up with those people usually because they're so happy that they got a free facial. So if you're not already and you're newer in business, or even if you're a little bit established and you're going through some slower times, you can find people to give free facials to, right? You can call your mom and say, hey, do you know anybody in town, a friend of yours that would want to come in for a free facial? Yeah. Everybody wants a free facial.
Yeah. And I would say even to extend on that a little bit would be to, if you have people coming in and directing them how to write that Google review. So, hey, can you explain which service that you received? So if they received a hydrofacial, can you please put that in your review so that Google can start to recognize, oh, this business offers hydrofacials, and hopefully you can be the one to eventually pop up or be in the top 10, whatever it is. So really just direction with the Google review, even if you write up a little prompt for them, hey, if you could just mention the service that you received, what you enjoyed about it, and, whatever you write, I'm very thankful for, but at least the service, and especially if you're thinking about the long term of your business, I always say, what do you want to be doing in 5 years? So let's say that you really want to focus on hydrofacials. Put that in your when you give those free services, make sure you're only doing hydrofacials, or, you know, you can sprinkle in a chemical peel here and there. So just really be intentional with your business in the sense of how you're directing people, because most people don't know how to write a Google review, number one. So if you can give them direction, I'm sure they'll be very thankful for that. And just, making sure that they are always aware of how to make your experience in the back end better.
Yeah. So those are two things there, just to break down and kind of summarize, is one, make sure you give them the exact link to your Google. So where they hit it and it says, and you can send this, we use it on our Google review card, which is another thing that I'll talk about in 1 second. But you can send them a link to when they click it, it literally just says write your review. Like they don't have to go to the Google and then press reviews and then go down. Like it literally is just write your review. So you're making it really easy for them. And the second thing that you just mentioned is that we literally had a few sentence prompt that people could just copy and paste, where you're saying, hey, you know, here is what a good Google review, looks like when it comes to my business. And like you mentioned, you say you don't have to write this. Feel free to write whatever you want. But also people who feel a little bit overwhelmed on what to write, which, I mean, it's really so simple. Any Google review that's 5 stars is better than none at all. So even if they go, this was a great facial, it's still better than nothing. That's still real, right? But yeah, you can write something like, I saw Victoria today to focus on anti-aging, and I had the best hydrofacial I've ever had. I recommend her to everybody. Right? Very simple and straightforward. And what that does is when people are searching, they feel comfortable because they hear Victoria's name. They know what service to get, and they know if they're struggling with that condition or whatever that is, then you're the perfect person for them. So
it's actually kind of crazy, your Google reviews. Like, think about the services that you are providing for your business, because if you're just doing things to keep the lights on and you're getting Google reviews based on that service, it's not going to do anything for your business for the long run, because Google reviews are another form of marketing. So people are looking through your reviews. They're looking at the services that other people received. And if it doesn't fit into that same match of what they're looking for, they're going to look somewhere else. So if you want to be a corrective skincare specialist, don't have a bunch of brow reviews on your website. Your type of reviews are, a review is a review. It's great. But also, again, just thinking about not just throwing them out and just being really intentional with like who we're asking our Google reviews for.
Exactly. And the last thing I'll mention is just that Google review card, and we'll move on to the next one. So we found, I got an ad for this on Facebook, and there's a million different companies that make it, but it's literally a plastic card. So it looks just like a debit card, and they put like a little, I don't know how the technology works, but they put one of those little tap things in there. And basically when you buy a card, I don't know, I think it was $20. I'm sure there's even cheaper options out there now. I mean, you could look on Etsy, just look up Google review card on Google, and you'll find a bunch of amazing options. And basically what that is able to do is Victoria can tap their phone on the way out of the treatment room, and it pulls up that link like I just mentioned. So you're not having to text somebody and feel weird. But yeah, that's a great way to do it. But one last thing. Don't be afraid to ask for those Google reviews either. If you've been in business for a long time, you're just starting, people want to support. I know we get pushback all the time on our mentor calls where they're like, oh, it just feels so uncomfortable. People, if they're coming to see you and they're rebooking appointments, they're happy and they want other people to know. If they know they can support you in that one way, it's like, oh, okay, all I can do is get one facial a month, but I can support you by helping you market your business, and I don't have to like go tell people to go get a facial. They will do it. People love to help, and you would be surprised if you have to remind somebody 3 times. They don't care. They want to leave that review.
Ask with confidence and gratitude. So when you're asking, you don't want to say, hey, it would really mean a lot to me if you could leave a Google review. I mean, how old are you? A 3rd grader? You know, like make sure you say, hey, thank you so much for coming in for your service today. I would really appreciate to help me find amazing clients like you if you could leave me a Google review and state the service that you received and what you enjoyed about it. Whenever you have time, thank you so much for coming in today. I think it's really important also about your delivery system of how you're asking and making sure that the client feels appreciated, to encourage them to leave that Google review. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm amazing, you know? So I think it's something that I had to learn learn in the beginning, but the sooner that you can ask with confidence, the sooner that you can get there and get those Google reviews. Confidence is key with your business. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is having a solid referral system. Now, this isn't just throwing out a referral program or saying $10 off your next service. This is something that I've been really intentional with my business, and this might take a little bit more time, but specifically finding your high-end clients, finding amazing clients and rewarding them specifically instead of because you want more people like them. So finding ways in your current practice that you can really highlight your amazing top spenders. And that way, again, it's your circle system, right? It's like your their inner circle and who they're referring. So for instance, I started a referral program for one of my high-end paying clients. And I said, hey, every single time somebody books an appointment, I'm putting $50 in your account towards your next service. And she probably referred me 10 people within 1 month. And so she was incentivized. I was getting poured high-end clients, and that was me with just one client being super intentional with a referral system. So that's one way. And the second referral system I want to talk about is something that's a little bit more general, but more incentivizing with value rather than just a number. So how are people going to feel as far as when they read what you're offering? Like, how can they feel the experience through your offering and not just $10? Because anybody can offer $10.
Yeah. So I didn't know if you were going to keep on going there because I have so many to touch on those points. When it comes to like Victoria mentioning building a specific referral system for amazing clients, the reason why we talk about that is because you making an Instagram graphic and saying I have a referral program doesn't do it. Your clients are not scrolling on Instagram and see that you have a referral program and then going to call their friend and go, hey, I really want. And then, the idea of $10 is just, in the beginning, we looked at like it's almost disrespectful, right? Like to give somebody $10. And we talked to somebody recently on another mentor call, and I explained what is the lifetime value of another dream client. So for us, you getting those referrals, people are coming in and minimum spending $300 on a service, right? So when that amazing client of ours drives more clients in, every client that she gets, that's $300 in that month from that new client. Mm-hmm. But the lifetime value of that client is huge because most of your clients are rebooking, they're buying product. Now I'd say it's probably over 80% of your clientele are rebooking and buying product, right? There's not a lot of one-off. So the lifetime value of a client is thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. So giving somebody $10 on you making 10,000 sounds insane, right? So what we did is with that high-end client, instead of us posting or sending an email out that said, hey, everyone, we're now offering $30 if you refer somebody. Victoria sat down with that client face-to-face and said, because she already at that point, she sent in like 1 or 2 people and they were amazing clients. So you sat down with her and you went, hey, I'm making the your name affiliate basically, right? Like this is the you referral discount code, right? Like this isn't, I'm not giving this to everybody. And what that also did for the client is it made her feel better than the $50. I mean, she's also a high-end client, so $50 really didn't mean that much to her. So it's almost more valuable the fact that you sat down with her and just said, girl, you are changing the trajectory of my business and the people you are sending are amazing. Imagine how she went home that day and just felt like, wow, I'm amazing and my friends are amazing. And all I'm doing is walking around and telling people this is where my skin, and she mentioned people are just complimenting her on her skin all the time. That's really where it comes from. But so those are the few things that you should be doing. If you have 3, dream clients, then focus on those 3 people and go, how do I find more amazing people like you?
And I want to touch really quickly is I know that a lot of people say pour into your current clients, and that is so important, but this is a prime example of how you can do that, because look within your business and look at your top high-end clients. And that right there is free marketing itself, because you can make somebody feel special and again, really just change your whole business with one person. So really just perfect the client experience, how you can make people feel special. And again, look within and don't be so focused. I know a lot of people are so obsessed with getting new clients, but if you already have a good base, or if you're just starting out and you have one good client, that's one way that you can bring in multiple new clients.
Yep. That's a good little kind of a little tidbit, little secret hint we'll put in there that we talk about all the time. But you need to copy and paste that one client avatar. So, we've talked in different podcasts about this. We talk a lot in our Patreon about it, of finding your dream clientele. And, for us in the beginning, I don't think we maybe had a dream clientele maybe 4 or 5 months in that we were like, oh yeah, this person is perfect. We had some amazing clients, but maybe they weren't consistent, or maybe it was just kind of, all different reasons. And we found that avatar and you went like, Chris, this is what she looks like, right? This is not physically, but like, this is what that dream client looks and feels and talks like. And you take all that information and you build all your marketing around that. So your referral systems, the way you post on social media, the way you send emails out, the way you communicate with clients, the add-ons that you give to people, right? You think, okay, what is this client like that I do the most? Those are the things I'm going to lean on the business. Yeah. And because we did that and we found that and we used it across all of these marketing systems, is how we built an entire clientele of people that come in every single month and spend $800 to $1,000.
And the key is actually perfecting the client experience. So perfecting the moment that somebody walks into the door, how you make them feel during the treatment and after. I mean, truthfully, that's the reason that's what's going to make people talk. Even if you have a killer referral system, somebody has to have a reason to refer you too. So make sure you perfect that client experience. I'm actually mentoring a esthetician right now, and she, like, with one facial, just by practicing and like really just like putting her heart and soul into that facial, she just somebody else just received a facial from her again, and she's like, wow, I can feel the difference. And that's just from one session of learning how to perfect the client experience. So make sure that you are bringing in a model, bringing in a friend or family to really just help you make people want more and make people want to refer you.
Yep. And then going back to the other topic you mentioned too, when it comes to not just giving the money off the service, and we're just fine giving $50 off a service. Our problem is that we also realized that high-end clients don't care. Like, that wasn't incentivizing to them. They are happy paying. They want to pay you more. They tip you well. So they weren't going to grab more people just to get $50. But when you add to the experience, and giving some examples like free dermaplaning, a free jelly mask, extra massage, free LED, or even just upgrading the treatment for them, is the ways to do that. And the reason why that also works so well is that if you have an amazing client who refers somebody amazing and you go, I'm going to add on something for free today, or you can upgrade their service and keep them at the same price. So if they wanted a regular hydrofacial, you give them the VIP hydrofacial or whatever is more advanced, they're going to go away even happier, right? They didn't have to pay any more. They're also going to tip you well. They're going to keep buying from you because they're even happier with you, but then they're even going to get better results. It's also a sneaky way, I guess it's not really sneaky, but then to get them to book the more advanced one next time if they didn't already. Yeah. So there's so many benefits there, but those things tend to add a lot more value than just a dollar sign off. And you can kind of read the room with your clients, and you can kind of realize like what would make them happiest. And it also depends on where you are in business. Early in business, we couldn't really afford to give $50 off a hydrofacial. Like that would like put us back, right? Yeah. So instead, it was adding more value of you giving a free jelly mask and free dermaplaning, and that only took time because those goods are very little. They're inexpensive as far as cost of the business.
Also, you guys, a good face massage and extra massage, that's also a free way. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even afford a dermaplaning blade, just find those extra ways that you can really pour into your clients and make them feel special. And our job is about how we make people feel. So you have to remember, number one, it's the power of touch. And if you notice in the treatment room, you're like, wow, everybody opens up to me because the power of touch is so powerful. And again, how you make people feel. So not only are you making them feel, their skin feel like $1 million when they walk out the door, but their experience with you of how they feel emotionally, they feel 10 times better and they feel so refreshed. And how you can make them feel special in the treatment room is what matters, and how you can add that value.
Yep. And then before we jump into the last thing, unless you had any more on that topic, I did want to make a quick shout out to the sponsor of our video, this podcast, is our Patreon. Yeah. We sponsor our own podcast because this is the way that we can can continue to pour into the community. If you love these conversations and you learn a lot from our podcast, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, please go back. There's over 70 episodes of Victoria and myself and another over 20 with some amazing guests in the industry. But we use the Patreon to really break down these topics into much more bite-sized and simple examples. So we have over 130 videos currently on Patreon, all separated into collections to help you dive into specifics of your business, if that's creating content, if that's client experiences, if that's protocols. It's all there, and we still are dropping a Patreon video every single Monday. We also sprinkle a little bit of stock footage that you can use for your business, your socials, your website, anything you need to help you get clients. The Patreon is the community. It is the tool that we wish we had in the first year of business, and now we package it all up and are giving it out at mass. We have over 1,500 members currently, dozens of amazing reviews. But yeah, the link will be down below. We'd love to see you over into the community on Patreon.
Yeah, and also we have an in-person event in February, so don't miss that if you want to experience the whole thing in person. And you can read more details on that so we don't overwhelm you guys. Yep. So thank you, Chris. I will say the last topic that we're going to go over, which you're either going to love or hate this one, is Instagram. Instagram, as much as we may hate it, or maybe you love it, it is a free resource for your business. I will say a lot of people, if you have a larger following, some people will say, well, of course you get clients from Instagram. You have over 100,000 followers. But that was not the case when I first started. I started as a solo esthetician with 50 followers, and I did get a large amount of my clients from Instagram. I still get a lot of clients from Instagram. Now, that may not be my number one now, because I've really focused on Google and finding other ways to get clients in the door as far as marketing goes.
Diversified.
Yes. So that I don't have to rely on Instagram, but Instagram is a free tool, and it's something that we can utilize for our business. And I mean, Instagram integrates with Google now. So there's a lot of different ways that you can tie in your business with Instagram. And again, just free marketing, putting yourself out there and selling the experience through your videos and who you are as a provider.
Yeah. Now I want to drop some real gems in here on specific. I want people to be able to walk away and immediately book clients on Instagram. So I'm going to drop a few different things. We'll go back and forth on some of our favorite ways that we used to book clients. And I'll give you a sneak peek right now. It wasn't high quality videos. The cinematic videos that you see on Skin by You, if you're a follower on Instagram of Skin by You AZ, is Victoria's Instagram for the business. The cinematic videos in the beginning, they helped build the brand, and they maybe added to the idea that somebody booked, but they weren't the main reason why somebody booked. And what was the main reason in the beginning was before and afters, right? Mm-hmm. That's what really sold Victoria, not only as a professional who could get results, but the same thing with Google reviews is it's proof that somebody else has done it first. And when you're new in business, you could take all of our videos and you could post the most cinematic, beautiful facial videos anybody's ever seen. But if they have never seen your results and they don't know what you can actually do besides make a relaxing looking video, they're not going to book, right? Yeah. People, especially when it comes to corrective, when it comes to anti-aging, when it comes to preventative, unless you're working at like a high-end hotel spa, that the whole thing is just relaxation, then yes, you could sell off that. But most estheticians that follow us, that watch this podcast, are into the corrective and they're into actual preventative or acne. So before and afters. I want you to add on before and afters before I go to the next tip.
So there's two main things. You need to sell the experience, which can be through videos and people seeing your touch and how you make other people feel. But the before and afters is a key. So you want to sprinkle in a little bit of both onto your platform. So you can sell the experience, but before and after sell results and trust, right? So those are the biggest things. You're not only getting somebody from the experience standpoint, but you're also gaining somebody's trust. So even if you are looking for you're trying to showcase what a hydrofacial looks like. Something that I constantly did was make sure I had great lighting, I had great angles, and had a good before and after glow. So how to make the skin really look a big difference with my before and after. So, of course, their skin already looked amazing and glowy, but those key factors are really important for your before and afters. But I also took somebody through my whole acne bootcamp program because I wanted to enter a new clientele. I wanted to bring in new clients that really struggled with acne. So something that I personally did with the before and afters was I took somebody through my whole acne bootcamp program. Not only did this give me a before and after that still books clients to this day, but it gave me the confidence and the tools and the practice to be with somebody in person. And that helped shape me to be an even better esthetician in the treatment room. And you have to look at that in your business as a sense of, yes, it's an investment that hurts in that moment, but the long-term gain that you can get for your business. If I didn't take that leap and literally went negative and, with taking on that client, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So you can't just always think like, oh, let me just offer one free service if I want to book acne clients. It's like, no, you have to go through the whole process with them. Again, the before and after glow is something that you should constantly kind of sprinkle on your page. If you like, let's say you don't want to be a corrective acne specialist, just having those before and afters of those glows are really important as well.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how powerful a good glowing facial is. And it's not only, somebody just goes, oh yeah, my skin looks like that now. And when I leave, it'll look like that. That's awesome. But it also gives people who maybe have bigger issues when it comes to scarring or maybe more fine lines, they can see, hopefully what you could provide for them down the road. If it's going to take 6 months or 6 years, but they can go, oh, that's what I want. And that person knows how to get there, hopefully. Right. And that's what those before and after show. So yeah, if, when we looking back in the beginning of business, I think we were posting a before and after like every other day, if not like every 3 days. And it was, by at that point you had some years of experience. So we had some already saved up, but then back to the content days when we'd have that model come in for content, you were taking a before and after every single time with them too. So
you have to figure out like any way that you can get content is so important. And I want you guys to look at my Instagram and go back to some of my before and afters, or even just study the current ones that I have. They're all the same. They all are very cohesive and clean. And again, that's something that's really important is I can tell you right now to go post before and afters, but if they're crappy before and afters, that won't do anything for your business. So study a good before and after. I do have a video on this on my Patreon, and I'm about to make another one actually, because this is key. And I mean, not only do they perform way better when you have a better before and after, but like when you put these photos on Google, it makes your brand stand out more than any other before and after. It looks premium and luxury, and that's what people want to feel. And I mean, I know glass skin is like a trend right now, but people love that. People love to see what they're going to look like when the facial's done and how they're going to feel. I mean, I look at my own before and after sometimes and I'm like, dang, her skin looks good. Like I want to book an appointment. So even if you just offer something as simple as dermaplaning, you should look at my before and afters when I first started, and that's all I could offer. And it took some time. I wasn't perfect at first, but once I perfected the before and after and how I showcase them with good lighting and the angle every single time, I will say that has completely transformed my business and made my brand stand out, because I think that's something that like everybody's estheticians. How can you stand out as an esthetician? And that's just one of the many ways that you can stand out.
Exactly. And the next thing I want to talk about, maybe potentially the last, and a gem. And if you've stayed this long into the podcast, and if you're not using this tool already, then you're in for quite a treat. But it is cold DMs. And it still shocks me. We stopped talking about it for a while. We have a ton of videos on Patreon about it, but we stopped talking about it for a while. And we had some people that rewatched some of those old videos or listened to us on our lives and talk about how we used it, and they've used it again and reminded us that still how amazing that is. And we actually recently used cold DMs when it came to our event, and we used that as a marketing tool to reach estheticians in the space, and it worked there too. This still works. Now it has to be done correctly. If you want to know a deep dive and you want to really dive into the whole cold DM strategy and see the message and everything, you have to head over to Patreon because we don't really have the time or off the top of my head to remember it exactly, but I'll give you kind of the bones of the cold DM strategy. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into your location tags. So whatever city that you're in. So for us, we live in Queen Creek, Arizona. We go right into that location tag specifically. Why you go into that location tag is that everybody who lives in your city that is active on social media, when they take a picture, they're out somewhere, they're doing something, they're at a business, they're going to tag their city. It's just what people do. So you go into that tag and you'll have all the posts. You have your top posts and you have your recent post. You're going to go to your recent post and you're going to start there. And you're going to look through and look for your ideal clientele. So for us in the beginning, it was moms, women. You know, of course, moms are women. So it'd be women, usually with kids. That's who you clicked really well with. And you'd scroll through those posts on recent. And if you've seen somebody that is their mom or maybe looks like a mom, you click to their Instagram. You like 3 of their photos because you got to make sure you got to give a little bit, you know, got to make sure you show a little love first. Then you jump in the DMs and you copy and paste that cold DM. Yeah. Like I said, I don't have that cold DM now. It was very warm. It's very welcoming. It worked extremely well. We have estheticians who have reached out to us recently by using that strategy. We had somebody recently, if you listen to, it might have been the last podcast or 2 podcasts. Yeah. Victoria read the review and this girl booked a full day of clients off cold DMs. Like what an amazing tool that is. And you know what that cost her? $0. It cost her time. And in the beginning, just like we talked about in this podcast, you don't have a lot of money to spend. That's why we're talking about free resources. Yeah. Right? There's a lot of amazing paid resources. We can get to that if you guys want all the things you can pay for to boom your business, which we can afford now. But in the beginning, there was no extra dollars. So everything that we needed to do, we had to figure out how to use our time because we had lots of time and zero monies, right? So cold DMs is still an amazing way to book clients. Makes you do it correctly, makes you do it tastefully. You don't want to be poaching people. You don't want to sound, if you look at your deleted or your private DMs right now, all those DMs that you see, we have hundreds because Victoria's a bigger account. All of those ones, don't make it like that. Don't say, hey, UAZ. We get that one a lot. We get, hey, skin. Don't send anything like that. You know, using a name is also what we did in the beginning. It takes a lot longer, but we used to literally go, hey, Jennifer. Yeah. Right. And like that felt people were like, oh, yeah, it's somebody actually writing this DM. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, that's the cold DM strategy. I went through that really quickly.
I think just saying your name, it makes the biggest difference. They're like, wow, they really took the time to even just go to my page and get to know my name. That's big. There's 2 things, unless you had something else to say, that I wanted to touch on. So number 1 is we just used this strategy with an employee that I'm bringing on, which I'm really excited about. Haven't announced that yet. So this is my first announcement on that. Exciting. Haven't done that in like 2 years. But anyways, we just had our employee do this strategy and she had like 5 responses and then 1 person saying, hey, send me the link to book. So just know that that's a big one that people are going to respond. This is literally like a free way for you to resource, but make sure when you send them that link, make sure you charge a card on file. I think that's like when you're building in the beginning, it's like, yeah, you want to take what you can get, but you also want people that like take that extra step, in my opinion.
The card, but have the
card on file with your booking system. So obviously I've had times in the beginning where I booked a cold DM and because I didn't have a card on file, they forgot about their appointment and they didn't come in. So again, in the beginning, we're building, that's going to happen, unfortunately. But I think to secure yourself and getting a good quality client, that's really important. And number 2 is your page being professional. So when you go to your page and somebody is looking to potentially, I mean, they haven't even really built that trust with you because you're reaching out to them. It's not like they have a pain point that they're reaching out to you. Make sure that your page looks clean, cohesive, and professional, because how you can stand out for somebody to book that appointment will make or break you. And I'll never forget when I first started, I number 1 sent that cold DM and my client that booked with me was like, wow, I usually never respond to cold DMs. But the reason why I booked with you was number 1, you sent a very sweet and personable message, which made me feel like I wasn't being sold to. And number 2, she was like, your page looked so professional. It looked like I think she knows what she's doing. So make sure your page isn't sloppy. I mean, there's plenty of Etsy templates that you can buy and purchase and customize, even if it's something as simple as that. Canva's free, you guys, but Etsy makes it a little bit easier, not gonna lie, because some people don't have the aesthetic like me when you first start. So yeah, there's so many things that tie into somebody actually booking that appointment. So those are 2 really important things.
Yeah, the professional page is actually huge, because if you send cold DMs and you have like 4 posts up or like random random posts of like you traveling to like Italy and they don't understand your expertise and why you're reaching out, it feels like, and we've talked about this before, I think there's that, you don't want to get confused like a personal Instagram, because if you're sending cold DMs from a personal Instagram, it looks pretty suspect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have gotten those marketing DMs from like marketing douchebags on Instagram that like have yachts and boats, or we get the ones that are like girls that are like models. And usually with those people, they're paying VAs or people out of country on their account to send DMs out like, hey, Victoria.
No, or they'll just say Victoria.
Or because then they try to catch your, and we know they're like major red flags. So make sure you avoid all of those things.
You look like a red flag.
But yeah, and then the professional page is like that idea exactly. And I know that those marketing people do it for a reason, where if it's the model girl with 1 million followers that sends the DM, or the marketing guy that's on yachts, even them, they have a reason why they're doing it. You know, we're just not their target audience. But if you're a 17, 18-year-old and you're just starting your business and a dude with 1 million followers DMs you with your name and he's on a yacht, you know, that would be professional according. So when you're sending your DMs out, think about your audience too, what things would make them feel like they can trust you and get to know you from your socials.
Optimize your bio as well. These are really important things that we teach on our Patreon, which unfortunately we can't go into because it's a whole, we have like 3 videos up on that take up a lot of time. So maybe we'll save that. But make sure you join the Patreon if you're not already part of the community. We have over 1,500 members and it's growing every single day. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in to today's podcast. Make sure you join our event in February. We hope that this video was helpful. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.